Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to you. Welcome to the beautiful Baylor Club at McLean Stadium. This is an exciting day for Baylor athletics, an exciting day for Baylor baseball, and we're glad each and every one of you are here. Thank you very much for making time in your schedule to be with us today. Welcome to those of you in the room here at the Baylor Club. Welcome to those of you that are watching or listening online. As we, the term is introductory press conference, but today it's more of a reintroduction and a celebration and a welcome home to Mitch Thompson. Isn't that right? We're looking forward to it. Let me, in general, make a few introductions, and there are seats available. If anyone standing would like to come and find a seat, we've got a few seats available, so help yourself to one of those. But we are pleased to have with us a good number from the Heart of the Order today. Thanks to the Heart of the Order, it is a great support group for Baylor baseball. Talked to somebody coming in, and it was Jeff Walter right over here, and Jeff said, I am so excited, how can I join the Heart of the Order? So there you go, it's at least one new member already today. But welcome to the Heart of the Order, and thanks for all your support for Baylor baseball. We have a good group of current Baylor players right over here. Guys, let's give them a round of applause and thanks. We appreciate you, the ones that are in town. We are very pleased to have you with us. Scattered around the room, we've got some former Baylor greats, I'm going to say, some lettermen from Baylor baseball, and we are honored to have each and every one of you here today also for this big event. We've got some dignitaries we'll introduce more in-depth coming up in a bit from Baylor and from MCC. But doesn't that make it a real Waco event today, you know, when we combine Baylor and MCC for this big event introducing Mitch Thompson today. All right, to begin, Mack Rhodes is coming forward, Baylor's Vice President and Director of Athletics. By way of introduction, take a look and listen to this video as Mack Rhodes comes forward.
And again, the payoff pitch. It is driven to deep left center field. Back, gone! A two-run home run for Josh Ludy. He wins the battle, and the Bears with a 3-0 lead.
Here comes the payoff pitch. It is swung on and line past the shortstop into left center field, and the Bears win their first ever Big 12 championship.
Ramada ready. Full count pitch. Swung on and in. He struck him out, and the Bears are going to Omaha. The Bears are going to Omaha as the dog pile begins on the pitcher's mound. The Bears are going to Omaha.
All right, well, welcome. I had to see that video one more time. That's how we started our search process. The very first meeting we had with the search committee, we played that video. I want to thank Chad for providing that video and for our creative team to putting that together in such a quick order. But man, what great tradition, what rich history. Mitch, no pressure. No pressure. I glanced and I saw Bryce Cherry out of the left corner of my eye, and thank goodness I still have some peripheral vision left. But just for the record, Bryce, we did not hire Mitch because of your article, all right? Just want you to know that, okay? It helped, but it wasn't the reason why. So, again, welcome. And certainly appreciate everybody being here. John called it a celebration, and it is a celebration. It's a celebration of our baseball program, and it's a celebration in welcoming somebody back home to be our next head coach. So again, grateful that all of you are here. You know, I mentioned our baseball program has rich history, and we have rich history because of the great people that have led this program in the past, and I'd like to mention a few, and it starts with, you know, a few of our former head coaches, and I think about particularly the last four that have led the program over the last 61 years, and it just wouldn't be right to stand up here and talk about our baseball program without recognizing the four. Certainly the late, great Dutch Schrader, who served as our head coach for 12 years, and the late, great Mickey Sullivan for 21 years, and Coach Steve Smith for 21 years. And that's really been a blessing for me to be able to connect with Coach. I obviously didn't know Coach Smith, but had an opportunity to meet him and visit with him when we brought back the 2012 team, and then also had an opportunity to speak to him throughout the process, and grateful for him. And then finally, Coach Rodriguez for our past 7 years, and grateful to him and Kim and their family, and for everything they did to pour into our young men and into our program. And so we've had great leaders, and certainly grateful for that. Former players, I know that you're out there, and again, one of the byproducts, or I call it a blessing, of participating in a search is meeting new people, connecting with new people, and/or reconnecting with people. And throughout the process, I had an opportunity to connect and reconnect, in some cases, with some of our former players. And their love for our university, their love for our baseball program was resounding. And it certainly helped me and my perspective as we went through the search. And so for all the former players that are here with us today, that are out in the audience, welcome home. We're just not welcoming Mitch home, but we're welcoming all of you home as well. Our current players, I see them over here to the right. We said this at the beginning. This is a job that was going to be nationally coveted. People great interest in it, and people had great interest in it because of you all. And you are the best of the best, and we said that when we met with you. And I'm just grateful for your trust in the process, your patience through the transition, and staying focused. So grateful for you young men as well. As you know, a search is a collection of people that come together and participate in the process. And again, just blessed to work with some incredibly talented people throughout this process. And I'm gonna ask them to stand, and just one instruction, please. Just hold your applause until they're all standing. But so those that were a big part of the process and did a lot of the data collection and preparing search materials, and if you've been a part of a Baylor head coach search, we've got a lot of materials, and it takes a lot of time, and you have to turn around all of that in short order. And so Max Calderon, Will Lattimore, David Kay, Jill Van Zee, if the four of you would stand, raise your hand, and let's give them a round of applause, and just thank you very much. And then the search committee itself, those that sat in the room, and again, what an incredible opportunity to just meet and visit with some incredible people, and so grateful to the search committee. I'm going to ask them to stand and then hold their applause, or hold our applause, until I've recognized all of them. So Jake Baskin, hope he's here somewhere. Jake Baskin is a former baseball player and works in our athletics department. He's in the back. He's raising his right hand. I'm not sure why, because he's a lefty. And he reminded us that he was the only lefty of the group. Cody Hall is here somewhere. Cody Hall, again, serves in our business area. Doesn't only serve in our business area, but leads it. And Cody is a former player as well. And when we do a search, we're extremely detailed, and we even designate where each member is going to sit. And we made sure that Jake and Cody weren't sitting together, so that they were spending their time talking about their glory days. So we had them on opposite sides of the table. Kevin Gall is here with his son, and appreciate Kevin and his great work. Don Rogers, I'm not sure if Don was able to make Don Rogers. She's here. Grateful to her. And then Chad Jackson. And for those of you that don't know Chad, he's our sport program administrator for baseball, and he has such a deep love for college baseball. And he's got great wisdom when it comes to college baseball, and he's got great connection with our program, great connection with our players. So if you'll join me in giving them a round of applause. Would also like to thank President Livingstone and our Board of Regents for their support throughout the entire process. Certainly grateful to them. And then finally, just thankful and grateful to the family of our new head coach, who are sitting right here. Amber, Mary Conley, and Caroline, thank you. We know how much you love Coach Thompson. That was and has been always extremely evident. And thank you for sharing him with us as we embark upon this new chapter of Baylor baseball. So give them a round of applause, please. Never come up with two notes. It's hard to look back and forth between both. As I mentioned, Baylor baseball means something nationally, and that came out resounding. It is highly regarded nationally, well respected nationally, and because of that, we had a really deep pool of candidates. And so that, and I hope as you think about that equates to Mitch Thompson wasn't given this job, he earned it. And he was the best of the best when we think about a really deep and talented pool. As you've heard me say before, every journey is a search, and for us, we begin every search with a prayer to God, asking Him that He humbly lead us to that right person, that is right for our university, for our athletics program, for our baseball program, and most importantly, for our young men. So why Coach Thompson? And there's a lot of reasons. There are so many reasons in terms of why Coach Thompson. And I'll only share a few, but these are a few that I certainly felt like Coach and I, Coach and the search committee, really connected on. I mentioned his family already, but the love and commitment he has for his family means something to us, and it means something to this institution, to our baseball program, and it will mean something to our young men. His commitment to getting better at his craft, that really connected with me. This idea of always trying to get better, always trying to evolve. And I think for many of us right now, it's crazy times when we think about intercollegiate athletics. But having a leader that is always open to getting better, to evolving, to taking on challenges. His desire to pour into our student athletes, to value them as people first and as baseball players second. This commitment to our young men that, yes, they will leave Baylor University as good or great baseball players, but more importantly, they will leave Baylor University as great men. We will never, ever compromise that, and I appreciate Coach Thompson's commitment to that. His desire and his willingness to take on a challenge. The confidence that he has always had to bet on himself. I love these things about Coach Thompson. And I love that he is bringing all of these characteristics and many, many more to our program. His track record of success, I think, was really important for us as well. And you saw some of it, and he was a big part of that. He's also been to 3 College World Series in his last 9 seasons at MCC and a national champion. He's done it before. He knows how to do it, and he'll do it again. So please join me in welcoming home our 20th head baseball coach, Mitch Thompson. Come on up, Coach. Love you. Put this hat on. He just told me he didn't want to mess up his hair. So put that to the side.
Wow. God is good, and his timing is perfect. I'm so honored and humbled to be here. I'm so honored and humbled to be the new head baseball coach at Baylor University. I want to start off by thanking Mac Rhodes and his team for believing in my vision and for giving me the opportunity to lead this great program. I want to thank my former employer, McLennan Community College, President Johnette McCown, Athletic Director Sean Trocum, for giving me the opportunity to be a McLennan Highlander. The lessons I learned at McLennan have helped prepare me for this opportunity. 23 years as a Division I assistant coach, and I thought I was ready to be a Division I head coach, and I think I was. But I can promise you that I'm more ready now than I was before then. Those 9 years have been invaluable. McLennan actually achieved exactly what their goal is. Their goal is to help people become better people, to better themselves, to give them an education and improve their lot in life. And McLennan did exactly that for me. So to President McCown, Sean Trocum, all the fantastic MCC faculty and staff, to my former assistant coaches and all the Bosky boys, thank you so much for your support, belief in me, and most importantly, for your friendship. I am blown away to stand here today in front of you. I'm blown away to see this many people here, this many people that I love, and it's truly an honor. I want to acknowledge my coaching mentors that helped me get my start in college baseball. A kid from Goodland, Kansas, out in the middle of nowhere, 5,000 people in my hometown on a stretch of interstate from Hays, Kansas to Denver, Colorado, 350 miles. And my hometown of 5,000 people is the largest place on that stretch. I'm from way out there, okay? But from really good people, really good people. It's not the end of the world, but you can see it from there. But how did I get my start in college baseball? We didn't even have a high school baseball program when I grew up. It was God opening doors for me. I've known since the 8th grade I wanted to be a college baseball coach, and God just continued to open doors for me and open doors for me. So I want to acknowledge the people that helped get me my start. Pat Harrison, first off. Pat Harrison opened doors for me and got me my first graduate assistant job. I'll never forget it. Ron Polk, having the opportunity to work for Ron Polk and Scott Gines and Hal Baird and Steve Smith, having the opportunity to help them chase their dreams and chase excellence. What a blessing. So I thank all of them for giving me a job. But I also have to thank, first off and foremost, I've got to thank my family. 29 years ago this summer, I was fortunate to marry the love of my wife, Amber. And Amber's a small town girl from Mississippi. We met at Mississippi State. Living with me has not been easy, ever. Ever. 2 months after we got married, Amber's entire extended family lives in Rankin County, Mississippi. And I mean entire extended family. She was the first and only one to ever leave, and I did it immediately after marrying her. 2 months following marrying her, we were in Starkville, and 2 months after that, we moved 4 hours away from home to Auburn. And we spent 10 months at Auburn, and after 10 months, we packed up and we moved 8 hours away from home to Waco. And we've made Waco home ever since. And we're going to try and make Waco home forever. That's our goal. But Amber, I can't thank you enough. You've been an absolute blessing, and I love you with all my heart. Life's been good to us here in Waco. It's where we raised our 2 daughters. It's why we stayed. It's why we stayed in Waco the entire time. Passed up other opportunities, passed them up left and right. But we stayed here because of the people here. We stayed here because of my girls' church and youth group and their schools and their friends. And we stayed here, and it's been a blessing to watch my girls grow up and have a normal life. That's hard for coaches' kids because most times they move all the time. But my girls were born and raised here, and they're Waco people. And I'm blessed to say they're both Baylor Bears, both have degrees from this great school, and we're so proud of them. So Mary Conley, Caroline, I love you with all my heart. They always used to ask me if I was going to keep going until I got a boy. And my response to them was always this: I get all the little boy I can stand every day. It's nice to go home and not have to throw more BP. And so, thank you, girls. I need to thank my mom and dad. My dad's passed away about 3 years now, but my mom and dad have always gone above and beyond to always try and provide for us and let us get where we wanted to go. I need to thank Amber's parents, Phyllis and Tom Kennedy of Brandon, Mississippi, and Amber's family for the great support that they've always given us as well. I want to say this too: to follow in the steps of the great coaches that have been here before gives me pause. It makes me take a deep breath and realize the shoes that I'm standing in. To realize that I'm only the 5th head coach at this great school in the last 61 years. Tells me that if I'll do it right, I can be here a long time. And I plan on trying to do everything I can with that. I want to acknowledge the late, great Dutch Schrader. I want to acknowledge the late, great Mickey Sullivan, both of whom I had a tremendous opportunity to get to know, the people that they were, the impact that they had, followed by Steve Smith, and followed by Steve Rodriguez. I'm here today going to reap the benefits of those guys' hard work. They were excellent stewards of this program. They represented this program with great honor, and they left it better for the next guy. And so one of my goals will be to leave it better for the next guy following me. I just hope it's a long time coming. As I look out at this crowd and I see so many former guys, I mean Jason Jennings and David Murphy and Chase Gerdes and Greg Gleim and Hagen Heiligbrot and Bruce Cawthorn, former Baylor guys, man. I know there's many more in you than I just mentioned, and I don't have time to call you all out. But I want to do this. If you're a former player here, you're a former Baylor player, okay? If you're a current Baylor player, if you're an incoming Baylor player, and you're here, stand up, because I want to recognize you. Thank you guys for being here. This program has always been about the players. It's always been about the players. As long as I'm here, it will forever be about the players. The players are the most important asset we have. They're the only thing that matters. This place has been about teaching and giving young men a place to compete and to play for championships, to chase their dreams. It's been about helping young people get a world-class education. It's been about giving young men an opportunity to build their character and grow their faith. Baylor baseball has always been about changing lives. It's been about growing men and showing them how to be outstanding husbands and fathers, employees, and bosses. It's always been about preparing champions for life. And we're going to continue to do that. Today I pledge to you that the players will always be the most important thing to me. I want to invest in their lives. I want to help them chase their dreams. I want to develop a relationship that lasts a lifetime. And I've got one with many of you, and I'm going to build one with the rest of you. For the last 9 years, at the end of every team meeting that we've had, every team practice, every team huddle when we're getting ready to break the field, we've broke that huddle, we've broke that meeting, we've broke that practice with the words together. That's it, together. And what together means to me is that we'll all accomplish more together than we will as individuals. It means that our successes or our failures on the field are never the result of just one person. It means we'll always have a friend, that we will never be left alone. Together deflects the attention off the individual and puts the attention on the team. The team. So as I get finished up here with these first statements, I want to break this thing out with it together. And I want you guys to understand that you play a huge role in this as well. We're going to build this thing back into a national power. We're going to do it together. We're going to need you to fill the stands and give us a great home field advantage. We're going to recruit outstanding young men. I'm going to be able to put together a great staff of guys who can really connect and really develop with players. We're We're going to recruit great players. We're blessed to be in the great state of Texas with the best high school baseball, the best high school baseball coaches, the best select programs, the best junior college programs in the country are right here in our back door. And we're going to take advantage of all of them. And together, they're going to help us build this thing, return this place to where we want to be. But I need you to fill the stands. I need you to buy tickets. I need you to create that home field advantage. I need you to join the Heart of the Order, help us to raise money so we can do for these players exactly what we need to do, when we need to do it, how we need to do it. You play a role. Together, we're going to impact young men's lives. Together, we're going to win championships. And together, if God be willing, we're going to take this place back to Omaha, and we're going to compete to win the whole dadgum thing. So just know that that's my goal. That's what we're going to be about. We're going to hire people that are going to impact these young men's lives. We're going to develop relationships that last a lifetime. And when these kids leave, 25 years from now, they're going to come back to their home and their place, and it's going to mean something to them, just like it means to all of you guys that are the former players that are here. Thank you for the opportunity to be the head coach here. I can't wait to get started. We've been drinking water out of a fire hose for about 5 days now, okay? Gurgle, gurgle, but it's gonna get better quick. Thank you.
Outstanding. This is great. How about a few questions? You ready for that?
I'm up for it.
All right. We need to limit this to media only. I know a lot of you might like to ask Mitch some questions. There'll be a time for that, but right now, for media only, raise a hand, we'll get a mic to you, and we'll start with Bryce right here.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib, Mitch, congrats. So, like you said, obviously the last week to 10 days, I'm sure have been pretty busy. What have been your first kind of priorities, and do you have an assistant coaching staff assembled yet?
Yeah, we're getting close. Bryce, first off, I do want to thank you for the article, okay? I know Mac doesn't read the paper, okay? He told me that right there. No, he didn't say he didn't read it, but he said, don't think that's going to be the calling card. I said, yeah, I got it, but wow. I got a lot to live up to what you said, so I appreciate that. The first order of business, guys, is just to connect with the players. It's first thing we did was try and get in touch with all the current players, to get in touch with all the incoming players, to try and let them know that, hey, I'm very excited to be here. I'm very excited to be your new head coach. I can't wait to get to meet each and every one of them personally, and to really just calm their hearts and try and let them know that, hey, we're gonna do this thing. It's gonna be good. And, you know, just to calm their hearts. That's the first thing. Second thing that we got to do is we've got to get a staff hired, and we're in the process of that. We'll be making those announcements here in the next several days. I'll just promise you that the guys that we're hiring, the guys that we're going to be bringing on to help us do this thing, are people that have great experience at developing players. They have great experience at recruiting talented guys. They have great experience at loving on players, They're going to coach them hard. We're going to be demanding. We're going to challenge them. We're going to push them, do all the things that we need to do to get each and every guy to reach their maximum potential. That's what a coach's job is to get every guy on his team to reach their maximum potential. And the people that we're going to surround them with are going to be people who can do that. But at the end of the day, players are going to care a whole lot more about what you have to say if they know that you love them. And so we're going to love them. We're going to love them real. We're going to be honest. We're going to tell them the truth. But they're always going to know that they got somebody who cares for them. It's not just going to be me, but it's definitely going to be me. But it'll definitely be the assistant coaches and everybody else that we put around them as well. So that's what we're doing. We're close to getting guys guys on the dotted line and be finished, and we've got the guys in mind that we want to move forward with, and so those will be coming out in the next couple of days. Thank you, Bryce.
Questions, raise a hand. Right in the back. We'll get a microphone to you. Mandy, how about you first? Thank you.
Hey, Coach.
Mandy.
Congratulations. Obviously, you've always wanted to be at Baylor. Your heart's been with Baylor. You weren't here the first time. You took a little pit stop at MCC, but now you are here. So the fact that you've always wanted to be here and you never gave up on being Baylor head baseball coach, what kind of life lesson and baseball lesson does that teach to your players? Never giving up.
Life lesson of being, I'm sorry, I didn't hear it with the echo a little bit.
Oh, just the fact that you talked about earlier, you always wanted to be Baylor Division I head coach, and that you're here now. And
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, having the opportunity to work in the SEC and the Big 12 was phenomenal, right? And to be a head coach here, you know, this was my dream. I mean, once I spent 18 years here, this was my dream. I wanted to continue. This is such an unbelievable place. This university, the people that you're around, the lives that they touch and how they touch it. We don't have to dodge around our faith. We're bold with our faith. Doesn't mean we're perfect. We're far from perfect, but we're forgiven. Okay, and so this place has had a huge draw on us. But yeah, for a time we had to leave, and we had to make decisions that were tough for my career and tough for my family, and we had to make decisions on what was right to do. And you know, I think the life lesson is just trust God. You know, I opened this press conference up with the word God is good. And don't ever doubt it. And God does have a perfect plan for your life. And whether I knew that this opportunity was ever going to come or not, I didn't ever lose my faith in God. And I'll just tell you, I don't believe it happened at all unless God wanted it to happen. I don't think man can stop what God wants to happen, and I don't think man can cause God to do anything different than he has planned. I think that's probably scriptural too, by the way. But you know, life's going to deal you some tough things at different times in life, and you're going to have to get up, dust yourself off, and move on. And I'm glad that I had a family that was willing to do that with me, and I'm glad that I've had all these friends and all you people that were willing to do it with me as well.
Great. Let's come up front. Matt.
Mitch, do you see this as a rebuild, or does the transfer portal sort of change that dynamic when you approach this?
Well, you know, the transfer portal has obviously changed the game of college baseball, and it's really it's going to be an interesting thing to maneuver through. You know, I think probably a coach's job number one is to re-recruit his own team all year long. You know, you're going to have to continue to communicate and continue to develop those relationships and to let kids know why it's important for them to always be here. But then it's going to be important to make good decisions on bringing in the people that are out there looking too, because, you know, I think you can obviously find some pieces and some guys that can come in and help you make big jumps quickly. And we're going to try and do that. We're going to be looking for players. We're going to be looking for guys that can come in here and help us. We'll be working very hard at that. But I think you got to make sure that we're making good decisions on who the people are, where they're coming from, what's the purpose in leaving. Yeah, the transfer portal's changing the game for sure. It'll be an interesting thing to work through.
All right, to the back. Yes.
Hey, Coach. Matt Lively, KCEN. What was it like for you to share with the MCC guys that you got this job, and what was their reaction?
Well, they were excited for me. I mean, you know, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all the Bosque boys, and I mean that wholeheartedly. I mean, they've given me an opportunity to do what we do. They believed in what we preached at them, and you know, they've opened doors for me. They were excited. I'm sure they were excited for me. You know, when I spoke to them, it was on a quick Zoom call. And it was on a, you know, here we go, guys, this is happening. I thanked them for all they've done for us. And I'll be able to see some of them a little later and visit more with them, but now I have to watch out for NCAA rules and all that good stuff too. So, we'll be taking care of that. But, you know, they bless my heart, and they will always be my guys. You know, one thing I learned is that it doesn't matter where you coach. Your players are your players. And, you know, when we first went in there, I didn't get a chance to start off recruiting an entire team. I had like 2 guys I could add to the team that was already existing there. But those were my guys, and that's the way that it'll be here. You know, we may be able to bring in some guys to help us, you know, to help us get where we want to go. But at the end of the day, the guys that are here, those are our guys, and they're going to be my guys, and they're going to get my very best as we continue to move this program forward.
Up front, Jerry.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Welcome home, Mitch. You talked about it a little bit there, but you know, obviously you did it here, you recruited here, but how much did it help you these last 9 years at MCC to basically build a team every year? How much does that help in this situation?
Yeah, no question. And with the transfer portal, that's exactly another point with it. Sometimes it is going to be flipping parts of your team. You know, at the junior college level, you're going to flip at least half of your team every year. And so it's a really difficult thing to continue to fill in 20 new guys and 20 new guys and 20 new guys, and to fill in to be as successful from one year to the next. It's difficult. It's difficult to build culture, okay, where the team loves each other. And we were blessed, you know, we were blessed to get the right kids, and we'll be blessed to get the right kids here. But those 9 years, again, have been invaluable to me because I know all the junior college coaches. I know them really well. You know, I respect the heck out of them. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to call around all of them across the country. The top 20 junior college programs in the country, I'm calling every one of them. They need to help us be successful here. Because if we're successful here, it's going to help open up doors for other great coaches who don't have the opportunity yet to make this move. You know, it's an incredible opportunity. It's a great place for us right now. So I'm going to expect their help. We're going to go out and find the very best junior college guys in the country who are good fits for Baylor, and we're going to bring them here. But then to do the exact same thing with the Texas high school coaches, and then the connections that we've been able to make throughout 32 years of coaching college baseball. You know, if you handle your business the right way, people will speak well of you. And thankfully, I think that's my reputation, that I'm going to try and treat kids right, that we're going to always be honest with them, that we're going to work hard with them. And I'm thankful to have all those friends, and I'm going to need every one of them, because together, we're going to build this thing.
To the back, Darby.
Coach, congrats.
Hey, Darby.
What's a memory you held on to from your time here as an assistant?
Oh, there's so many, but, you know, I'll never forget the dog pile out in the Baylor ballpark. You know, this is a place that needs to host regional championships. This is a place that needs to host super regionals. It needs to, and it can. I've seen it done. But I'll never forget the dog pile. I'll never forget the players. You know, I'll never forget Jason Jennings winning the National Player of the Year, the Heisman Trophy for college baseball, for crying out loud. Never forget that. I'll never forget our first recruiting class, John Topolsky and Jeremy Dodson and Eric Nelson and Jim Blair and Kip Wells and all those guys. I'll never forget them because they changed the direction of our program. And so when you start talking about memories, man, we're gonna talk a long time, all right? But you know, it's always about the players. It's always been about the relationships. But and then it's about the championships and winning the Big 12 for the first time in 2000. And you know, my goodness, there's so many things there. And some of these guys, they're over here, and I say winning the Big 12 in 2000, and they go, "Coach, I wasn't here yet." You know, and that's okay. You know what? We're gonna go win some more championships from here on out as well. So, thank you.
Good. Couple more. Yes.
Levi Caraway, Sic'Em 365. Congrats, Coach. So you kind of stressed the importance of bringing people back to Baylor Ballpark. Where does that start with attendance-wise, and who do you go to?
What does it start to?
How do you increase attendance? Where are you going to start?
Well, I'm going to ask all my dadgum friends. And I mean, when I say ask, I mean, you're going to buy some tickets. Okay? You want me to come to your restaurant? You're going to buy some tickets. And Lord knows you want me to come to your restaurant. Okay? You know, I'm going to say this too. You know, I do appreciate Mac and Chad and everybody. And listen, one of the first things that happened here is, you know, they hand me a bag with probably $1,000 of gear. Things have changed at Baylor. Okay? When I came here the last time, you had to go buy your own shirts. Okay? Now, they weren't real subtle either, though, because they gave me the one size below what I really need. I think they're sending a message, all right? And the message was received, okay? When you show up out there in February, I'm going to be a slim, trim, good-looking dude. How are we going to get fans in the stands? They're going to want to come see these kids. They're going to want to see these kids compete together. They're going to want to see these kids fight like warriors. It's not going to be hard. They're going to show back up. We were top 20 in attendance every year. We were top 20 on the field. We're going to give them something that they want to come see. They're going to get to meet our kids, and it's going to continue to build more and more and bring more and more people there. I hope that here soon we're having to do something to figure out how we can create more seating, okay? I hope that that's in the process, you know. I hope that we overflow it where we have to do that. And you know what? We're going to need you, and we're going to need you there the whole time. But we promise you we're going to give you something that you can be very proud of. You're going to love these kids.
All right, anything else from the media, from Mitch? Yeah, Matt?
Yeah, Coach, are you just able to share how this all came about, when you got a phone call, when you learned that there was interest, and kind of where it went from there?
How did the whole process work out? Well, I'll tell you this. You know, this was a thorough process. I mean, and it was thorough. I mean, being here in town, you know, I felt like they know me. But man, we went through it, and it was impressive. Started out with a one-on-one phone call with Mac. They knew my interest. They knew my interest in their program. I was thankful that they were interested to talk with me. And I'm sure, I don't know how many people that they spent an hour on the phone with Mac, but I'm sure it was more than one. I'm sure it was plenty. And then it whittled its way down to an interview face-to-face. And that was really an intense interview. I mean, it lasted 4.5 hours. And we went over everything. I mean, we went over everything. And so I was impressed with that as well. We then had another phone conversation. And then last Tuesday, you know, I was possibly expecting a phone call in that time frame for, if this is going to happen, this is when it's going to happen. And last Tuesday, I got a phone call, and they said, probably about 12:20 in the afternoon, can you be at the Simpson Center at 1 o'clock? So about 30 minutes notice. And I said, nope, I'm in Huntsville recruiting. Well, when are you going to leave Huntsville? Probably about 5 o'clock. Ooh, that's not good. Okay. Well, let us get back to you. So then I shot him back a text, and I said, I can leave Huntsville right now for the right reason. Okay, and yeah, and it's a pretty quick trip back from Huntsville. I had to tell my staff who rode with me in the car, my wife just called and I had a water pipe bust at the house. I've got to go. Now, whether they believed it or not, I don't know, okay? But that was the story, and we're sticking to it. And so we ran back here, and the job offer was made, and I jumped across the table and gave them a hug and signed it as fast as they gave it to me.
All right, very good. Mitch, we appreciate no more questions from the media unless Amber or Mary Conley or Caroline, if y'all have questions, we would give you the mic right now. Not right now? Okay.
We'll handle that at home.
Yeah. Mitch, thank you very much. Love you, man. Welcome back.
Thank you all.
That was really good. We will take a moment for the media. If you have questions for Mac Rhodes, Mac has agreed to come on up here. I'm sure they've got questions for you. So we'll get a mic to you. Who has a question for Mac? Bryce?
Mac, just as far as your end of that process and how you guys whittled that down to Mitch. I mean, take us through that a little bit. And, what was the timetable like and stuff like that?
Yeah, so I think, probably it took us, 2 to 3 days to really feel solid about, the candidates that we were going to first reach out to by phone. And it's just the way that we've always done it. And trying to spend, about an hour on the phone with candidates. And, Chad can probably correct me, but it was about 10. And again, I talked about deep pool and great interest. And, that time is really meant for, fit. Do we believe that candidate is really a great fit for our institution? Is there connectivity in terms of philosophy between myself and that head coach, and certainly others that support the program like Chad? And so, and I love those. I love doing that. You have an opportunity to be on the phone with some really neat and cool people. And then, once that's finalized, and that probably took, 2 to 3 days, and then we sat and really vetted who of those group of people are we gonna sit in front of, and really spend some considerable amount of time. And when you think about searches, I think they're probably more art than science. I mean, think about it. You're trying to hire somebody to lead your program for, hopefully 5, 10, 15 years, and you're trying to do that off a 5-hour interaction. And, our interviews are probably longer than normal. Part of it is, just to get a feel for how each of the candidates can endure 5 hours of questions and conversation. But I think we also spend that time really sharing who we are, and we're very, very detailed in terms of what we share with the candidates, from budgets to staff to everything, right? We want to make sure that whoever we hire really has a great feel for us. And then, many times after you finish that process, you feel like, hey, you know what? When you recap the entire interview process and you go through the 5 hours, there's a few things that we need to touch on afterward. And so Mitch and I got on the phone. I think it was a Sunday night, maybe. I can't remember, but and so we had the opportunity to get on the phone again for probably about an hour. And some of it is, did they give the same answer that they did during the 5-hour interview? So, but that's the process. And then again, you sit, and I was blessed. I mentioned the search committee members, wonderful to work with, and everybody has an opportunity to speak into it, and we then make a decision. So, and again, this was a great process. And I'll say this, because of Mitch's history here, and probably because he was the favorite externally, probably made it harder for him to get it, because we weren't going to hire him just because of those things. He had to be the right person, and he is the right person. So,
good. Questions for Mac? Matt?
Mac, have you had a chance to watch Coach Thompson at MCC over the last few years, or even streaming in the JUCO World Series?
No, I never had the opportunity to watch him coach while he was at MCC. And truth be told, I think we maybe had a couple 2-minute conversations since I've been here the five and a half years, and I think you all know this. We've had a lot going on at Baylor the last 5.5 years, so that's probably occupied most of my time. But certainly, heard about it, aware of it. Certainly couldn't ignore what was happening at MCC and the great job that he did and was doing. So,
anything else for Mac? All right, very good. I think you.
Thank you all.
Scheduling, is that another pretty fast priority? Or?
No question. Most of the schedule is complete. I've got to reconfirm with all of the schools on the schedule, but most of the schedule is complete. So I'll be doing that, and that's another thing. I've started receiving some texts from the other coaches about it, and we'll be following up on that as well.
You mentioned you wanted to get to know some of the current guys. What were those interactions like? And I'm sure you can't get into all of it, but just was it good feedback?
Yeah, these guys, they're wanting to get to know me too, and so when you have 40 guys to try and call, and you're calling incoming players as well, and it's a difficult chore to get to everybody, and we're still working on some of that, but they want to know more about me. They want to know more about my philosophy, who I am, what I'm about, and I think they're excited, but at the same time, there's probably a little hesitation, because it's just a different situation than what they were expecting at any given point in time. So, great kids. This place doesn't recruit any guys that aren't great kids, and that's just a fact. One of the blessings of it is that the people you're going to get a chance to work with here are going to be first-class kids. So I can't wait to get to know them all really personally.
Mitch, this might be the time to ask, what do you need for the program in terms of whether it's facilities or anything like that?
Yeah, we're gonna get going on our job of doing it on the field. We're gonna get on, we're gonna take care of all that stuff. We're gonna have plenty of support. This administration is going to support our program and be great with us. But we're going to take what we have right now. We're going to maximize the heck out of it, and we're going to try and create some opportunities to do some things in the future. But I'm not worried about any of that right now. I want to get to know these kids. I want to help each one of them maximize their abilities. I want to bring in new guys that can help us win a lot of games. If we take care of our business, we put fans in the stands. Anything and everything we need, these guys will support or give us, no doubt.
With all the feedback that you've gotten from prior players and everything, thousands of texts, what does that mean to you? That you have such a strong support for the club.
It's been overwhelming, and for all of those guys who did send one of those 1,000 texts, and I wonder why I haven't responded. I actually had a guy shoot me a second text probably 3 or 4 days later. I hadn't even seen the first one. We got 1,000 text messages, but he said, so now you're big timing me, huh? No, oh my gosh. Well, no, I'm not big timing you, but I can only do so much. My thumbs, I got carpal tunnel going in my whole, we're working on it.
Take offense
Yeah, you shouldn't take offense that I haven't communicated with you or thanked you or any of that. We're going to get with them. I've still got it to do. But like I said, it's been hitting the ground running. So, but it means the world to me. Those are friends. Those are people who care about you, and the former players, to hear from them and to hear their excitement, that means as much to me as anything.
Mac said something to me about a new clubhouse perhaps being on the docket. I don't know how quickly that'll happen, but as you were walking around out there the other day and taking it all in, are you already thinking of, okay, we need to do this? We need to make some changes here.
We've got great facilities. But like I said, if you remember the first time when we came back in 1995, my first experience at Baylor on the field, there was a 7-foot-tall sunflower going to third base. Okay, all right, that's a fact. And I thought, I'm coming from Auburn, a College World Series program, and I'm going, what have we done? So, yeah, what do we have now? Give me a break. We don't have any problems. We don't have any issues. We've got what we need. As we continue to build the program, these guys will support us, and they'll build us anything and everything we need. But we're going to take care of our business first and worry about the rest later.
As you're back at Baylor, are you excited about maybe reconnecting other people back to the program as well?
Oh, no question. I mean, the Heart of the Order people, all of the folks around the community. I'd be shocked if the Heart of the Order is not growing exponentially already. I'd be shocked if they haven't heard from folks around town who are saying we want to get back involved. Like I said, I'm going to ask. I want them there, man. I want them to be proud of this program. And we have so much going here at the university right now. When we first came years ago, we didn't have a really successful football program or a really successful basketball program to help us recruit to and for Baylor people to be proud of. Right now, how could we have it any better? How could we have it any better? Men's and women's basketball conference champion, football conference champion. My goal is going to be to try and make baseball conference champions and compete for those kind of championships as well. And I know that we'll have the resources to do that.
And have you been watching the College World Series a little bit? And does it get your juices flowing? You were talking about maybe getting back to Omaha.
Well, as a coach, when you're playing at the Division I level and you've been to the World Series, you don't watch it very often when you're not there because it just hurts too much. It's kind of like this is where we're all trying to get to, and let's take advantage of this time. Let's get out on the road and go see other players and do what we need to do. I have not, I'll be honest with you. I've got a brother up there. I've got 3 former players up there. 2 guys at Oklahoma are going to be playing for the national championship. Good for them. If Arkansas wins today, then my brother and another former player are going to get a chance to compete for those things. I'm pulling for all of them, but I haven't watched a single pitch. It hasn't happened. I guess they'll tell me who wins when it's all over. But we're just going to hit the ground running and try and get us back there. Golly, when you've been here once, you know how special it is. So I can't wait to go back.
Yes, you mentioned how MCC prepared you for this moment. In what ways?
Well, at MCC, you always think that you're ready, and I was. But when you're truly the boss, then you're the boss, and you are the decision maker, and you're the last line of defense. And what are we going to do, Coach? You have to tell me. It's not that. Well, that's a good idea, Coach. I had to follow the academic progress of the kids. I had to develop the relationships. We had to continue to recruit. I had to order the equipment. I had to, help plan the team travel, all of that stuff. Those are all things that will help you when you get here. I'm just so thankful that we have so many other people around that can help us here. And I'll be honest with you, I was blessed beyond measure at MCC. The assistant coaches we had, off the chart. Great guys, hardworking, bought in. The administration, off the chart. But it's a lot. And so, how did it prepare me? It just showed me everything that's going to need to be done. And now I'm going to be a much better delegator now than I was over there. How about that?
Anything else for Coach? I have one last question. The one that I asked up there, but your heart's always been at Baylor, and you always, you said that you kind of, rolling with the punches. You didn't give up on your dream of being here. So the lesson that shows to your players about, not giving up.
Yeah, no. This place is special. We didn't leave. We could have left. We had opportunities to leave, but family was important to me, and I wanted my girls to have a normal high school experience. I didn't want to be dragging them to the next college town, just so Dad could have a job. And God worked it out. I got a job scouting with the Royals. It was fantastic. Made great relationships. MCC opened up. They wanted me. I wanted them. I've had 3 or 4 different jobs here in Waco in the time we've been here, but my family hasn't had to move once. So, and our support staff and everybody around us have helped take care of us. But there's going to be things that happen in your life, and some things that happen to you sometimes that you wish didn't. And whether they're right or wrong or whatever, you look back and you think, I could have handled situations differently. And did I realize what a blessing it was? And I'll tell you, when I was no longer driving up to the Baylor ballpark every day for work, I realized, man, I had it pretty good. And even though there were some little bumps in the road occasionally, I had it pretty good. So you realize that, and I'm just so fortunate and blessed that we're back. And I truly believe this. This doesn't happen. These guys went through a process. It was a thorough process, but it doesn't happen if God Almighty doesn't want it to happen. And so I'm thankful for this. I'm thankful for the opportunity, and I can't wait to get it.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thanks, Mitch.
Thank you guys.